Most men love motorsport. Most men like to see things in a state of undress. Well, here you've got both those things. You've got motorsport, motorbikes, in a state of undress, no fairings. This is Thundersport Naked.
Welcome to Anglesey then for round 7 of the championship, the Crank Racing Thundersport500, a series that Joe Barton, #1, leads overall from this man here, Ryan Vickers. Well, technically at the start of the weekend, Pete Bardell was second, but he's not racing, so Vickers inherits second place. Dave Grace is third on the grid, and looking further back, a few familiar names there. You can see Sam Smith, 199, Jody Chalk, 87, 27, John O'Toole, 82. Lewis Osler, a full grid here. We have 34, 35, 36 500s on the grid ready for this race at Anglesey in northwest Wales with 3 rounds to go, including this one into target. Really tricky, short first corner before then heading their way into the banking, and this is where riders tend to sort themselves out and get settled in. We're on board now with Ryan Vickers on the Satchwell Racing Honda. You can see there the championship leader just up ahead of him, Joe Barton. As they exit the banking, they'll then make their way onto the really quick church corner here. Right-hander, here you are on board now with Lou Osler a bit further back, and he's now trying to make a move. This is the back straight then, although it's a kink all the way, past the school curve effectively, and then uphill, climbing into one of the best overtaking opportunities into Rocket Corner. You can see blind crest at the top, ever so easy to lose a place. As you just saw there, that was James Pickford just going up ahead of Lewis Osler, then going into Rocket out, another tricky right-hander, easy to lose the front and the rear around here, before then making your way up towards Peel Corner, named after the late great John Peel. You see a few rookies out there with the orange vests as well, but Lou Osler, we were on board with there, is certainly looking good over the last few rounds. It's Barton that leads though from Vickers as the riders now make their way through the corkscrew and around to complete the first lap here at Anglesey. There is Dave Grace just up ahead of Toole. There's Dave Moss, one of our senior riders within the field. Senior riders and freshmen as well, pretty much rookies. Dave Moss here looking like he could end the weekend as senior championship leader, because Cole Mooney not out there on the grid. Joe Barton then it is that has the lead, #1. You can see him there. Nobody's ever defended the championship here before successfully. Ryan Vickers on his tail. Vickers really going well as we see Sam Smith there and Lou Osler really tight elbow to elbow as they now climb up the corner. Osler's got the inside line. It's getting a bit tight through here, and Osler moves up the inside. Can he hold on to it though as they tip right, slightly downhill? He does, so Lou Osler at the moment then just sticking it up there, and he's still inside the top 6. You see Dave Grace and John O'Toole as well. So this is the battle for the lead. Joe Barton, is he looking to get overtaken there around the outside by Vickers as they make their way through the corkscrew? Barton still just about got it from Vickers. And Jody Chalk, well, what a season she is having. She gets better at every single round. She's climbed up into 3rd place now as well in 4th. Here's number 80, James Pickford. And then we saw the rest battling it out for 5th. On board again with Vickers as we now head up towards the banking hairpin. Taking some varied lines here, Vickers, just trying to get the drive out of the banking up towards Church Corner. Sid's here in the commentary box with me as Vickers tries to close in on Barton, and this might be his opportunity here just to get into the slipstream. We'll stay with Vickers for now. He gets into the slipstream. He's going to go up the inside here. Now he's going to have to get his work done quickly because, of course, Barton will then have the inside line as they make their way up to Rocket. Further back here, Lewis Osler battling away for 4th place. It's getting very tight all over the circuit, but up ahead, Vickers has managed to keep out front. Sid, Anglesey, often seen as heaven or hell. Sometimes when it's wet, windy, it can be an ugly place to be, but for the moment, we've been quite lucky. We wake up here this morning on Bank Holiday Monday, and the weather's been very kind.
Yeah, lovely day today, and lovely day yesterday after the initial dampness from the overnight storm that we had. Absolutely brilliant. I can remember standing up on Peel a couple of years ago, and I could barely stand up without holding onto the course car, and we had to abandon, but not today. And this weekend has already shown some fantastic racing. Here we've got Ryan Vickers.
Oh dear, Joe Barton has gone down into the banking. Number 1, the defending champion, and he can't believe it. He looks almost flummoxed there to know what's happened. He's chasing down Ryan Vickers. Vickers has brought the challenge to him. Well, I'll tell you what, Joe Barton is comfortable, you could argue, in the championship here, but he's going to have to be careful. He won't want to do that too many times between now and the end of the season, because if Vickers has a good day here, he could close the championship right up. Big moment then there for Joe Barton.
Though, isn't it, for Joe?
Yeah.
Very unusual.
Not often you see mistakes coming from him. So Vickers then, bit of breathing space at the front for number 321.
Does he know? He won't know
Probably
yet, I
no.
don't.
Probably not, no. And, you know, let's be honest, we're not at Grand Prix level, so these guys won't have pit boards with Barton out written on, on their pit boards when they get back round.
This is budget racing.
So, so no, he might not know unless he looks over his shoulder.
They might have a chalkboard.
No, it's not a bad idea, actually. So here we go. Well, we're talking of budget racing. I presume that we're at an extreme budget with the TV presenter that just opened up the show a moment ago, Sid. Hopefully we can have a round up in the paddock and see if we can get that person gone ready for the.
Well, luckily the twins will be back for Donington, so
good job too.
They had to have a holiday, so I had to step in. I'm not quite the twins, but
you certainly are not. Ryan Vickers it is that has the advantage then in the Thundersport 500s, then building up a good lead over Jodie Chalk, who really has had a fantastic summer. She's doing great. Sam Smith, always great to have Sam back in the paddock again. There you can see Lou Osler. No, he's not just keeping his hands warm. He's trying to get as much, well, aerodynamic effect as possible, really, down the back straight. As we see there, number 52, Craig Fowle, making up a place as well. Dave Moss at the moment is leading the seniors from Alan Brookbanks. So Dave Moss in a commanding position there, and further back in the freshmen, Sam Palfman and George Davies are fighting away. But here you can see Satchwell, he's one of the seniors just a moment ago. These guys are all fighting just in and around the points at the moment overall, as they make their way onto the start-finish straight. Still Vickers from Jodie Chalk.
I'll tell you what, Steve, I mean, Ryan Vickers is fast. He's not getting away from Jodie, is he, to be fair? I mean, Jodie this year has really come on. She's raced with us for quite some time, but she's really found her niche with this bike, you know. She really feels, I think, in charge of this machine.
Yep, certainly seems to suit her very well indeed, that's for sure. She's going really well. Not seen her knocking on the doors of podiums like this before in her previous visits to the championship. As we see further back now, it's the battle for third place. Lewis Osler charges past Sam Smith, so
he's after a podium, isn't he?
He is.
This weekend. He really wants a podium.
Well, Lewis Osler, in reality, wants to be a regular top 3 finisher as he loses third place again, but he'll get him back on cutback. Now it will be elbow to elbow with Rocket out. He manages to shut the door on Sam Smith, and so Lou Osler at the moment is in line for a third place finish.
Well, you see, his mum, Ali Osler, she definitely threatened him with a slap if he didn't get a podium, and who would argue with her?
Now, further back there, you can see actually the seniors and the freshmen all battling together. Dave Moss was in there, so was Alan Brookbanks, and Sam Palfman, 333, the freshman race leader. So all those guys from pretty much 10th down to 17th, 18th, they've all got something worth fighting for. At the front here, Ryan Vickers got a bit of traffic just to deal with. Doesn't seem to be phasing him. Ryan Vickers, another really, much like Jodie Chalk, found his niche here in this championship. Of course, started out in the super teams, much like Jodie Chalk. Vickers then, of course, a former motocross rider, moved into this class having had a year or two out. Looking like he might jump up a size or two for next season in terms of bike. As we look here at Dave Moss. Well, Dave's actually having a lonely one. He's up ahead of that group battling away. Further back for the remaining senior cup places. Dave Moss at the moment in 10th overall. We're on board here with Lou Osler. Up the inside goes Sam Smith again.
Well, that 10th overall that Blue Jay's in, that's Blue Jay Moss. He's not that far behind the leaders time-wise. This is the thing, it's so close.
I'm not sure if I dare ask why he's called Blue Jay.
No, I'm not going to tell you that one. I'll let him tell you that, Steve.
Okay, brilliant. Further back there is 117, George Davies. George in 15th place. As you can see they all continue to fight. The last lap flag is out then. Ryan Vickers should be home and dry here with this one. What an important 25 points this could be. We've got another race coming up as well after this, because he's not really put a foot wrong so far, unlike his defending championship rival, Joe Barton. And Vickers can afford a couple of looks around at the banking as well, a corner that lends itself to that, to see where the fight is coming, but he can cruise home. Jody Chalk looks solid for second place. It's just really the fight for third that might change up until the finish line. So it's Vickers at the moment that has the big advantage. Barring any mistakes, this should be a great 25 points for him. Now, this is the battle for third. We're on board with Lou Osler. There is Sam Smith, number 199, and up the inside goes Sam Smith. Oh, and they touch! And Sam Smith there goes wide, as does Osler, and that's allowed Pickford through. James Pickford's just come through and picked a couple of them off. He was watching that with popcorn. Those two have nudged into each other, and now Pickford's in line to take a podium. A bit further back, there's a good battle going on there between Grace and O'Toole for 6th and 7th as well. There's no doubting the winners, as we see Moss here, who's about to pick up a Senior Cup win. Ryan Vickers is going to take 25 points here in race 1 at Anglesey. Thumbs up from him. Jody Chalk will round the last corner in a moment. She will take a well-earned 20 points and second place. James Pickford did in the end managed to come home in third, courtesy of that moment between Lou Osler and Sam Smith. They finish in 4th for Smith, 5th for Osler, and 6th for Dave Grace.
Ryan, here at Anglesey, and you're having another fantastic weekend, aren't you?
Yeah, it's going really well. Won the first race yesterday and then had a close second to Joe in the second race yesterday, but came out today and I managed to get another win. Got in front of Joe, and then I didn't realise he'd gone down until a few laps later, and I see some scrape marks coming into the hairpin. Look behind and it was Joe, so unfortunate for him, but at least he's okay, and yeah, on to the next race.
Indeed, and at least we've got lovely weather here. They gifted us with lovely weather here at Anglesey for the full 3 days. Anybody to thank?
Yeah, can I thank Satchwell Racing, DG Designs, Whip Street Motors, Vickers Motors, Vickers Action, Breckland Finishing, Thetford Auto Parts, Dave and Sue, next door neighbour, and if I forgot anyone else, I'd like to thank everyone that helps me, and also Mum and Dad.
Sam, nice win there in lovely conditions. You must be well chuffed.
Yeah, I'm well happy. I've had a brilliant weekend. I'm loving it, to be honest. I seen Georgia catching me up at the end, but luckily I just managed to hang on the last few laps. But
Have you been here before?
no, I ain't been here before. It's a brilliant track, brilliant place, to be honest with you.
Excellent, well done, Sam. And any sponsors to thank at all?
I'd like to thank my dad, Phoenix Martial Arts, Run As and Race School, and I've got to also thank my daughter Leah, Kian Riley and Sis as well. Oh, I best thank the wife of why she let her go at me.
Don't forget that one. Well done, Sam.
All right, cheers, thank you.
Ryan Vickers wheelies in celebration. Can he make it a double win? You'll find out in a moment. Race 2 now for the Crank Racing Thundersport500's round 7 from Anglesey, and Ryan Vickers looking for the double win. Now, earlier on, Joe Barton, just second on the grid there, threw it away over at the banking. He can ill afford to do that again. The gap in the championship is slowly coming down. Dave Grace here, can he now feature on the podium as well? Further back there, Pickford and Jody Chalk, they were both on the podium earlier. Sam Smith lines up there. Lou Osler, Matt Snow, number 70 as well. Sun still shining. Red flag being walked away. Ready for another race here in the Thundersport 500s. And away they go. certainly both Vickers and Barton look to get away well off the start, but it is a really tough corner to get right. Such a short stint, you could almost argue that some of the guys at the front can take it flat out as they now make their way up towards the banking. Looks like Joe Barton it is that leads, so much like race 1, Barton has the advantage from Vickers and Jody Chalk. Sam Smith in there around about 4th or 5th places. 36 Thundersport 500s power around Church Corner, trying to find their way through. Pickford's up into 4th place ahead of Smith, then John O'Toole. There's Dave Moss, number 17, going through your picture. Rob Amable as well, regular in our Crank Racing Thundersport 500 Cup races as well. As we see there, Jody Chalk, another good start for her. She's been a good starter all year, but now she's found that podium. Oh no! And Sam Smith has gone down early doors here in this Thundersport 500 race, and I'm afraid that he won't be able to rejoin the race no matter how little the damage. Sam Smith, a 3rd place hunter in race 1, has gone down early on here, and yeah, shrugs his shoulders. He's a good character, is Sam Smith. He'll be a bit peeved about that as they now make their way onto the start-finish line. And there you can see Lou Osler's mum cheering Lou on. Lewis, of course, just missed out on that podium in race 1 and will be looking for revenge in race 2. There's Alan Brookbanks, Alan who finished 2nd in the Senior Cups a little earlier on behind Dave Moss. But at the front of this race, it's the champion, Joe Barton from Vickers and Jody Chalk. Sid here with me in the commentary box as Vickers again looks to now pounce, but it's fair to say that Jody Chalk is very much a part of this battle. Vickers climbs up towards Joe Barton, and now he's alongside him as they climb uphill. Just wonder, Sid, whether or not, that was a bit late on the brakes from Vickers, and he's just about managed to hang on to it. The bike's snaking away. Just wonder how Joe Barton will approach this race, having gone down in race 1, Sid.
But you also have to wonder, it's not going to be long before Jody takes that top step. she's like waiting and watching these two mess about. I'm really surprised at Joe because he could just sit behind both of these guys and still pick up enough points. And if he did that for the rest of the season, he'd have the championship. But you know what? He's a racer, and he can't help it. Yeah,
well, he's got a 65-point lead over Ryan Vickers at the moment in the championship. Oh dear, and that's someone gone down big time into turn 1. That's James Pickford. James Pickford has gone down into turn 1. That's such a shame for him. Joe Barton there in 2nd, just having a big look over his shoulder as Vickers has this lead. I wonder whether or not he is just happy to settle here for 2nd place. 3rd there is Joe Barton. Bit of a gap back then to John O'Toole, Dave Grace and Lou Osler.
Bit of confidence there for James Pickford, like podium in the first one. Bit of extra confidence. Trail the brake a bit too long, maybe.
Ever so easy to do, especially here. We mentioned how quick that turn 1 is. Not really on the brakes for very long, especially on a Thundersport 500. There is Dave Grace, the 7th, just with Lewis Osler up behind him. Lewis Osler getting all the encouragement in the world from his mum down on the pit wall. There's 116 about the back, one of our rookies, George Williams, saw him in race 1. Can't miss him with a colour scheme like that. Here we go again then. The leaders all come through. And then there's a big gap back to 6th place. I'm pretty sure that he's doing the very best that he can out on circuit.
You get on it, Mum. See if you can do better.
Well,
it's so funny when you see people doing that. But he did avoid the slap, I'm told, because he was kind of knocked, so he didn't get a slap for not podium before. But maybe this time he might get one.
Maybe. There is John O'Toole then, number 27 with Lou Osler, just telling Dave Grace, sit with me. It's a funny old thing, isn't it, when you see that? Sit with me and I'll show you how we can break up to John O'Toole and then we can get away. Dave Grace has said, nah, I'm all right, mate. I'll carry on as I am. Either way, it doesn't look like those guys are going to be able to catch up with the top 3. Vickers it is that still leads from Joe Barton to Jody Chalk in 3rd, and it seems to me that Joe Barton, having fallen in race 1, is just thinking about this at the moment. He's thinking, I might just be able to stretch myself and fight for the win, but I don't want to do what I did earlier, because 25 points could soon disappear, and then the gap would be down to just 40 overall in the championship. As it stands at the moment, the gap would be down to 60. The battle for fourth rages on, with John O'Toole there, 27, ahead of Lou Osler, 82, and number 7, Dave Grace. Behind this lot, we've got the likes of Matt Snow, James Lee, Dave Moss, who's up inside the top 10, Gary Wilson as well, Clive Mindham's up there on the senior cup machine. John O'Toole now having a look under his arm. These riders that continue to look around, look under their arms, look over their shoulders. It can't find your time.
So you always miss a few seconds when every time you look round, you disrupt the airflow. Nice to see John O'Toole at the sharp endish again. It just seems to be, since him and Lewis and Dave Grace have been having a battle together. Yeah, it's really good to see him back up there. They're having a good tussle.
Lou Osler's gone through now on John O'Toole then, number 82. So John O'Toole just having to settle in again. O'Toole had a really strong 2015, certainly towards the latter stages. This year so far has been full of inconsistencies, which I'm sure he'll look to try and put right.
He had a lull in the middle, didn't he? Yeah.
Of course, he'll be going to his beloved Donington Park next up.
I believe he knows the way around there.
Just a bit. Of course, helping out all with the family. Ryan Vickers there just took probably a little too much of the exit curve around Target Corner. He's looking comfortable though, but he is certainly pushing the limits. There is 17 Moss going through. This lot here, after Moss, Gary Wilson, Clive Mindham, Adrian Teasdale. I mean, you can't really pick out who's going to finish ahead of who. There's freshmen in there, there's senior riders in there as well, all having proper battles all the way through the field. So,
but it's the great thing about this championship, you know, wherever you are, you're going to have a race with someone. So even if you come in as Mr. Vertical, you know, just starting racing, you're going to battle someone.
Even if it's yourself.
Even if it's yourself.
Ryan Vickers it is that has the advantage still from Joe Barton, who looks just quite comfortable sitting there. John O'Toole's got back ahead of Lewis Osler. A couple of bikes just parked up on the tyre walls around this Anglesey circuit. Earlier on in the race, of course, we lost Sam Smith, we lost Chip Pickford. This is Chris Satchwell. Who was that? Sat on the right there, looking to rejoin. It was almost like it was a junction, a road. Someone's just waiting for these guys to come through before they pull out again. Here is Jodie Chalk. She's in third place. We lost Carl Chamley earlier in this race. Lee Shallcross, Andy Whale, and a couple of others as well, as we see O'Toole back ahead of Lewis Osler now. So this is a good battle going on. O'Toole, sorry, that's Dave Grace who's got up ahead of Osler. So O'Toole at the moment still in that fourth place. So Lewis's mum won't be too impressed. He's fallen to the back of that group. And then looks like Vickers has got this one sewn up at the front. Joe Barton quite comfortable just to sit there in second place. Of course, after this we go to Donington, then Cadwell. That means there's 8 races. If it stays like this, there's 60 points available. So Barton could quite comfortably just finish in second place for every single race and still be crowned champion.
Now, funnily enough, Steve, I've said this before, but there's a bit of news about this championship. Dunlop, who supply the control tyres, these are the Alpha 13s that are new to us. This is close. They are bringing out a facelift model, which is like an Alpha 13-2. And anyway, we're going to try them out. We're going to got some pilots. This is lovely, and I love watching this onboard stuff. We're going to try them out, give them a test on the test day at Donington. If they're better, we'll go with them next year. If they are not, then we'll get an order in for the manufacturer to do a product run, so we've got enough of the current tyres for next year.
Oh dear, what's happened here? Lewis Osler, he's got some sort of an issue. He sits up as if he's... What on earth's going on there? He's managed to hold on to his place again. He chops the nose off of John O'Toole with Dave Grace up behind. What's he got? Something on his visor? Something's going wrong here for Lewis Osler. Not quite sure Watts up as he makes his way up towards Rocket Corner. He's just lost a place. He's wiping his visor. Has he got like something spraying up onto it as he then goes back up the inside again? This is a proper dust-up for 4th place. But I'm not really sure what's wrong with Lewis Osler at the moment.
There's something wrong with his helmet there.
He keeps on lifting his chin up as well. I'm really...
He's had a bug go up underneath on
Well,
the inside.
The last you'd want is a wasp or something up there, that's for sure. But the last that flag goes out, it is Vickers that has the advantage from Joe Barton. Vickers, what a day it has been for him to close that gap down to 60. He will have the opportunity now to close it down further at Donington Park. Of course, he is the one that will have to take the risks. He's going to have to ask the questions of Joe Barton, but he's certainly been more than capable of doing that here in North West Wales.
All he can do is win the races in that, Steve. I mean, you know, then it's for Joe to lose, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Jodie Chalk, who will actually get very, very close to Pete Bardell for 3rd in the championship. She could be on for some decent points at the end of this championship then, fighting for 3rd. These guys are fighting for 4th. There's a stationary yellow flag there. I hope these guys are all staying in line. They would have seen a green flag before tipping into Rocket though, as Dave Grace just goes up the inside of O'Toole. So at the moment, Lewis Osler is on for 4th place behind Jodie Chalk. Got some tail enders coming up as well. At times, Lewis Osler looks over his shoulder as if he's gone out for a Sunday ride. And then he manages just to get tucked under and get on with his business again. John O'Toole's fallen at the back of that group now. Checker flag out. Vickers with a brilliant double win here at Anglesey to Bank Holiday Monday. That's exactly what he needed to do. And so we will roll on another round, and Barton will have a 60-point lead to defend. Barton finished 2nd that time around, though. 3rd for a lonely Jodie Chalk in that race, with Lewis Osler hanging on for 4th, just ahead of Dave Grace and John O'Toole in 6th. And there you see the top 3. Ryan middle, Joe to the left and Jodie on the right. And in the seniors, Dave Moss there, ahead of Clive Mindham and Adrian Teasdale. In the freshmen, we have George Davies the winner from Jordan Ashington and Thomas Pickford.
Jodie, 3rd place, and in race 1, I didn't have a chance to interview you, but you were 2nd place. I mean, what is going on? I mean, you've got some fantastic racing on this Thundersport 500.
I'm going to be honest, I think something just clicked this weekend. The team come together, bikes running perfectly, and brilliant weather. It's just been a great weekend.
It's got a lot of Garfield in it, that bike has.
Oh, a lot of Garfield in it, yeah. No, thanks to my dad and everybody else that's got us here this weekend. Couldn't have done it without them. We've just fantastic result. Couldn't be happier.
Well, you look like you're having more fun out of your racing than you ever have. Would that be fair assessment?
That's completely accurate. I feel comfortable and I'm starting to enjoy myself. And when you relax, that's when the results come. So yeah, real happy.
Excellent. Well done, Jodie. Joe, race 1, disaster, dumped it. But you come back again and you're steady ahead, and you must be still trying for that championship.
Yeah, that's the plan. I've got a championship to think about. Yeah, the first race, really pressing on, felt comfortable. But yeah, just locked the front brake, so completely locked and spat me off. Bit of a strange one, really, but you know, I don't throw it up the road that often, so I'm allowed one every so often. And yeah, in that race, really struggling for rear grip, so it would have been too risky to push on and keep it right, and all credit to him, he were absolutely flying. So yeah, I've got a championship to think about, so 2nd place is brilliant for me.
But you are pushing these bikes. I mean, they were never designed to go this fast.
No, absolutely not, but they are surprising what they're capable of. You know, mid-corner speed, they are very quick bikes, so yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask you who you want to thank as well.
Yeah, big list of people to thank as always. So start with everyone that's come to watch me. My girlfriend Naomi, my dad, Charlie, Dawn and Johnny, Louise, the kids, everyone that's here. They've all been brilliant, putting the bike back together after that crash. So yeah, thank you to them. And my sponsors, HB Motorcycles, Floor to Ceiling Fitted Furniture, STG Performance, Carbide Tooling Group, Murray's Motorcycles and Fisher's Mediocre Paint Jobs.
Ryan, what a fantastic weekend. I mean, you've been racing like a demon. You know, you've got better and better and better over the period of this year. And now you just... Well, you're the man to beat.
We're slowly getting there. This weekend's been really good for me. I mean, I've had 3 wins. That's the most wins I've had in a weekend, so I'm really pleased to sort of beat my record, and we hope to beat it again in the next round, get the full get a full house of wins. That'd be good. But
You got a lap record yesterday, didn't you?
yeah, got a lap record, and I got it at Rockingham as well, but it got taken on the second day, but I kept it this weekend, so I'm really happy to go away from this amazing circuit with a lap record.
So have you still got to focus on winning this championship?
Yeah, well, it's not over until the end, I suppose, so I mean, I just got to keep winning, and yeah, that's it. I just got to keep going to the end and see where I'm at.
Well, you can't do much more than just simply win. Sponsors?
Yeah, I'd like to thank SDF Transport, Brecklin Finishing, Whip Street Motors, Bickers Action, Thetford Auto Parts, Dave and Sue, and Mum and Dad. Thanks to everyone if I forgot anyone, but thanks to everyone for getting me here. Cheers.
Thomas, third place. Well chuffed, eh?
Yeah, I suppose it fell off bike yesterday, so I'm happy to be racing really today. Just thank Chris for all parts he's given me, so yeah, I'm quite happy with third today. Struggling a bit, but what can I say?
Well, it's really good to see you up here. Any other sponsors to thank?
I'd like to thank James Pickford for getting me into sport. Second meeting here, first Thundersport, so quite happy. I'd like to thank his mum and dad for big help, feeding me, making sure I've got water, and Ian Pickford for fixing my bike. So yeah, thanks guys, much appreciated. Oh, my mum and dad, obviously. Cheers.
Obviously, don't forget them. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Jordan, lovely big cap and a little advert on the helmet. Very good. You must be pleased. And have you been here before?
No, never been here before. First time here, first time doing an interview, so yeah, I've been looking forward to this one. It's been really good. So, like I said, a little advertisement just for best friend at work. We were at a wedding yesterday, so massive congrats to her. And yeah, it's been a brilliant weekend, so looking forward to the next one now.
We'll see you at Donington then, yeah?
Brilliant. Yeah.
Excellent, well done.
Yeah, thank you. Can I just say a massive thanks as well to HWW Racing for helping me out. Hell, Oakenshaw Garage, and all at Thundersport as well as my mum and dad.
Excellent, well done.
Cheers, thank you.
George, well, you've had a good weekend, really, haven't you? I mean, it's been sort of a bit turbulent, but good at the end of the day.
Well, turbulent, say the least. I did one lap in qualifying before I hit the floor, so we qualified second to last. So if it wasn't for mega laps, we wouldn't be up here. But good day yesterday, good day today.
Excellent. And you got some people to thank?
Yeah, my dad for coming up, Charlene, my partner, for putting up with all of this and getting up early, going to bed late, feeding us, and JC Motorcycles for giving me a hand with the bike whenever I break it. That's about it, really.
Which is quite a lot, isn't it, knowing you?
Well, yeah. It has been this weekend and last round as well. It's quite a common thing now.
Adrian, that must be the biggest smile in the paddock.
It's been a while, definitely. It's jumped on the 500 at the start of the weekend, and it's been so much fun. I parked my superbike and just put it in the garage and went, I'm not riding that anymore.
Well, I know you and I were having a chat, weren't we?
Yeah.
And you were just saying how much you loved it and how much fun it is, and the camaraderie and everything else.
It's just fantastic. And I mean, my bike's been in playing up all weekend, and Chris and the boys have been helping me out, and I've got Chris's tank on, so hey, thanks very much, Chris.
Excellent. Anyone else to thank that helps you?
My wife. If it wasn't for my wife, she comes with me, she does everything, and she's great. Yeah, I'm a daughter who pays the bills.
Excellent. Well done, Adrian.
Thanks very much, Sid. Thanks.
Clive, well, you've had a good weekend, really, haven't you? I mean, I've seen you up here more than once.
Yeah, it's been a cracking weekend, if I'm being honest. Never really got on with Anglesey until this weekend, but I really like it. New favourite circuit. Third and a second in seniors. Well happy with that. Just made up.
There's been some good battles over there, hasn't there?
Cracking battles. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are on the grid. There's always someone to scrap with, and it's all on the edge. But it just feels great. Yeah, it's just been a really good week.
Excellent. And anyone to thank?
I must thank Firmac Traffic Services, who help us out massively. Me and my teammate, and my partner, my Mrs. Kerry, who puts up with me going all over the place and doing this, which is fantastic.
Excellent. Well done, Clive.
Thank you. Cheers.
Well, it's great to see you, and obviously, with your new name, Valentino Mossi. And, excellent. And you've just been on the top step all weekend, really?
It's never happened before, just hope we keep on doing it. It's brilliant, the racing's good, it's so close. And 4 in a row. Shame Colin's not here, but he's helping Jono over at the Isle of Man. So, well done to Jono and Team KLM. It's brilliant. The weather's ace, fantastic.
And championship leader.
Yeah, 48 points in front now. So, come on, Cole, bring it on.
Anyone to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Susie and Nick from the Dooth Cafe, JCM Engineering, Walk Speed Motorcycles, say hello to my daughter Nikita, Charlie, and my grandson, Callum.
Excellent, well done, Dave.
Cheers, Sid, thank you.
Much to the delight of Alison, we have one more Thundersport 500 race to bring you. Stay tuned.
Are you ready? Showtime. One, two, three, four. More bang for your buck.
Crack Racing Thundersport 500s. We're at Anglesey in northwest Wales to bring you the Thundersport 500 Cup race. A chance here for some of our freshmen's senior cup riders, those that maybe didn't qualify so well at the start of the weekend, to have themselves a good dust up at the front. Just saw there Elliot Humphrey sticking his thumbs up. He's the only rider actually in this field that isn't a freshman and isn't a senior rider, and he really makes a meal of the start as well. A number of orange vests out there for the freshmen and rookies, but not a million riders out there, so there is a big chance here to get yourself to the front and some prizes as well. Here we go then, around the banking here at Anglesey, and it's number 67, Mark Robinson, that has the early lead ahead of Chris Cooper. Number 36 there is Graham Richardson, just up ahead of Paul Anyon, number 111. But as they make their way onto the back straight, 67 and 167, it is Mark Robinson and Chris Cooper. Coming up around the outside there is Chris Jones, number 66, flying up the hill towards Rocket. So we could see changes already as we make the way up there. There's all contrasting lines, I think it's fair to say, going into Rocket here. But number 66 comes out first, Chris Jones. Then just about 167, Chris Cooper. Coming around the outside there is George Williams. You won't miss George, that bright lime green Kawasaki looking Honda there, number 116, George Williams. They make their way through the corkscrew, and so far then it is number 66, Chris Jones. Sid's here with me in the commentary box at Anglesey, as we see there, number 41, Craig Cameron. Great opportunity here, Sid, for these guys to not only get, of course, another race out on circuit, but a chance for them to race at the front and sort of build up some knowledge in terms of racecraft and fighting at the front of a race, rather than, of course, setting their sights on just qualifying and you know, maybe getting lapped at the end of a normal Thundersport 500 race.
Well, this is it. And this is what I like about this 2 from 3 format, and which you can only do if you've got enough riders booked in. I mean, nominally, usually it'll be 60, because 60 is the maximum you can have out in qualifying in the first place. But there's other opportunities here. You know, it's like we always say with the super teams, you know, and what's made that successful over the years, and what it actually is because all the guys of a similar talent range all race together against one another, instead of, as you say, being lapped or, you know, having their confidence dented by, you know, faster riders coming past them like they're standing still. This is really good, and it gives them an opportunity to stand on the podium, to feel what it's like. The whole thing works, and this is the point. So you know, I really like this format, and this is really good racing for these guys.
As we see here, number 66 leading Chris Jones from George Williams 116. The other thing is as well, certainly I've noticed this from the start of the season, some of the riders that were featuring in the Thundersport 500 Cup races at the start of the year have taken confidence from racing at the front of these races, and have then taken that confidence with them to then qualify for the main races. And so there's a few riders that no longer feature in these Cup races.
For sure, yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about, and it's the same generally with all racing. I mean, like, this is arguably as a budget class, as a starter's class, you could say. By the same token, it could be an end product in itself. So in as much as if you know racing is cheap, as we've said about 1,000 times before, but
great move there from 116. George Williams, number 66, then falls back a place. That was late, but great from George Williams.
No, but people might want to stay here for the duration of their racing career. I mean, why not? This is really cheap. You know, we saw Sam Smith go down earlier. I'm sure he did about 25 quid's worth of damage, which is what you want. You know, I experienced yesterday like a guy who he had 3 engine changes in, you know, and most of the Thundersport 500 paddock were there en masse, pulling bolts out, and there was stuff flying everywhere, and he had 3 engine changes because he had all this help. The camaraderie amongst the paddock is absolutely phenomenal, and it's another thing that drives this, as has happened with the super teams over the years. This is just a fantastic class. I'm so pleased with its success.
Coming on to and around Church Corner then, number 116 coming under threat again from 66. It's a good battle between Chris Jones and George Williams. Just in the background there is number 67, Mark Robinson, who of course got the whole shot initially, but these two just running a bit wide into Rocket Corner. Both of them have got the orange vests on, so they are new to this class for 2016. Still not affecting their style out on circuit. Number 66 there, Chris Jones with his chin on the deck almost, trying to find as much lean angle as possible on his Thundersport 500 machine. So still at the moment, Chris Jones leads from George Williams. Make the way out of the corkscrew, down into this last corner. Really tough to get an overtaking manoeuvre to stick there. You have to be really committed and know that you're going to make that move from quite a way away. It's not something you can just sort of do on impulse really around there. It's such a tricky corner, as is turn 1. Anglesey so different to any other race circuit on the calendar. They make their way around the banking one more time then. Still number 66 from 116. Further back there, still not quite out of the picture, is Mark Robinson.
Actually, that target turn 1, Steve, that tightens up on you, don't you think?
Yes, it does, Sid. Yeah, it does tighten up quite a bit. But you can carry an awful lot of corner speed through there. A lot of times to be made up through turn 1 here at Anglesey. Quite a short circuit really, but doesn't quite do it justice on a piece of paper when you look at the circuit maps compared to when of course you get here. Those of you that are watching and looking at this circuit for the first time, you'll be able to see the beautiful views of the sea as they tip down from Peel towards the corkscrew. Still 66 at the moment. Chris Jones with that advantage, the rider from Huddersfield, part of the Osler racing crew. There is number 18, Chris Bramley from Nottingham, another of the rookies, all in orange. So on to the start-finish straight again we go. Bigger lead than we've seen over the last couple of laps now. And number 116 here, George Williams, maybe just lost half a second on your race leader, but coming back into the frame now, that looks to be Mark Robinson, number 67. A big look over the shoulder there from Chris Jones. There is a bit further back, number 18, Chris Bramley. Up ahead of him is Craig Cameron, Steve Waring. We saw Elliot Humphrey a little earlier on, and Chris Cooper. It's 66 from 116.
You know, George, as he backed off that, it just looked like he was trying some different lines. Just like, you know, when he was right up his backside, he just couldn't quite get it right, and there were some very colourful lines, for want of a better description. But yeah, he seems to look like he's apexing nicely and everything else, and now, yeah, you're right, he's catching up, isn't he?
Here comes Robinson then, number 67 in third. We'll have to keep an eye on him. Here's Elliot Humphrey, number 2, who's managed to get past Chris Cooper. Humphrey's lap times now are just settling down. Maybe just not quite the start that he wanted. Struggled to keep that front wheel off the ground. So for now, he's not part of the podium process. Unlike the 3 riders that you can see here. 66 Chris Jones then. Can he build on that gap at the front? or as Sid mentions, has 1:16 George Williams got himself now into a rhythm. Lap time wise, there's really not much to pick between them. Around the banking, further back we see there number 49, that is Steve Waring. On the Kid Racing Honda, number 49 from Chester.
Where does it come from, Steve?
I just told you, from Chester. It's amazing, you know, folks, that we have Sid here in the Conquest Club. Number 66, it is then, that still has this lead. And coming up to traffic now, this will be interesting. Not often these guys have to deal with traffic, and he's not dealt with it very well at all. Something happened there to him. That has allowed number 1:16 then, George Williams, through. This is obviously a part of racing that they're going to have to get used to, which is battling through traffic. It's not something they're accustomed to, and that almost went horribly wrong. What an appalling couple of laps, and he nearly throws himself out as well. Like a cannonball there. Number 66, Chris Jones, has had a horror couple of turns.
He did save it though at the end of the day.
Well, he saved it, yeah, but he's lost the lead and he's got no chance now of coming through. Now, what this has meant, of course, with the last lap flag going out, is that Mark Robinson has made up a place. He's moved up to second. Probably can't quite bridge that gap up to the front. But there's your classic example. These guys aren't, of course, used to coming through and lapping riders. And fortunately for Chris Jones, it just didn't work out too well. So now then, one lap to go for George Williams here to take the glory with Mark Robinson up behind him. I don't think Robinson will be able to catch him, although you can see him wringing the neck out of his Honda just up behind. I can say that there's some consolation for Chris Jones, who arguably should have been in a gravel trap by now. He is still, at the moment, in third place, so he will at least pick up a trophy for what will be a memorable day, I'm sure. Number 1:16 then, around Rocket Corner. Just a few left now for him. He has a good look over his shoulder. Don't do that too many times, George, because Mark Robinson will be there to gobble you up if you make any mistakes from here. Downhill into the corkscrew. You've just got to keep it together now. Number 49 further back here. Steve Waring is on for 6th. Behind Chris Cooper and Elliot Humphrey. And Mark Robinson, I tell you, has done a really good job on this final lap to close the gap down, but there's not enough time. The checkered flag is out. They go around the last corner, and it is going to be a win for George Williams. And just to let George Williams know that he was there, Mark Robinson decides to overtake him into turn 1 after the checkered flag has gone out. Interesting race, that one, certainly at the end. Thundersport 500 Cup race. George Williams wins it from Mark Robinson. Chris Jones 3rd. Chris Cooper finishes 4th with Elliot Humphrey 5th and Steve Waring in 6th overall. Top 3, there you are, smiles all round. George Williams, Mark Robinson and Chris Jones. And in the championship overall in Thundersport 500, there's confirmation. Joe Barton, 60 points is all he has to play with ahead of Ryan Vickers. Pete Bardell at the moment just in 3rd, but only 4 points clear of Jody Chalk. In the seniors, Dave Moss has eclipsed Cole Mooney, who isn't racing here this weekend. Chris Satchwell is in 3rd ahead of Nick Turner, Clive Mindham and Mark Leaning. And in the freshman, George Davies is top of the pile, 21 points ahead of Sam Pelferman, with Rob Amable in 3rd ahead of Steve Waring.
Chris, well, you've been up here several times this weekend, it seems. I can't get over those piercing eyes you got, by the way. No wonder you pull all the birds. But anyway, now you're a racing podium winner, you must be well happy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I got a bit screwed up in this race, unfortunately, by a couple of back markers, but that's racing for you, isn't it? But yeah, well happy with the performance. I've been struggling for the last couple of rounds, actually, so you won't see me on the podium for a couple of rounds, but yeah, really starting to make progress now, so yeah, really happy with this weekend. So.
But this class is just such great fun, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, and I think it's a lot to do with the more competency isn't a lot to do with it, but some of the quicker riders, you know, they're really sportive of us younger, newer riders even coming in, and you know, they're really sportive of us getting involved in this sport and this class more particularly. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they just want to perpetuate the class. That's the point, you know, and you need people coming in at the front door as some disappear at the back door.
Absolutely, yeah. In order for every class, whether it's up at GP1 level or down at the Super Teens and the 500s, you need those new younger riders coming up through. So yeah, I've been supported well by the Osler Racing family and HB Motorcycles with Joe Barton as well. So yeah, they've been really supportive of me. So yeah, and more of
I'm surprised to be involved with that lot, but you're still alive at the end of the weekend, isn't it? Never mind being on the podium. That's anyway. Who else have you got to thank?
Well, that's it, just the Osler Racing family and HB Motorcycles certainly. There's Wakefield College as well, they did my body work, and I believe that's about it. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
Thank you. Cheers.
Mark, big smiles, eh? I mean, yeah, but it's lovely, isn't it? I mean, you must have had a great weekend in a stunning place.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful. Like, the weather's been spot on. So, apart from qualifying when it were a bit wet, but other than that, it's been spot on. So.
Have you got some people you want to thank to helping you?
My kids for donating their pocket money. My wife for donating her housekeeping. That's about it, really. It's all come out of my own pocket, so no sponsors are out.
So they can't eat this week then?
No, that's it.
Top man, well done.
All right, cheers, thanks very much.
Well, what a fantastic thing to go home with, eh?
Yeah, delighted. Can't believe it.
It was a great race, actually, wasn't it? You know, I mean, really good.
Oh, I had great fun, and I thought he had me. I came across a bit of luck, so that was brilliant.
It is a great class, though, isn't it?
Yeah, great fun, and I just want to thank all you guys, Thundersport crew, my wife, and friends. Mange, who couldn't make it this weekend, and hope to be back at Donington.
Excellent, can't wait to see you.
Cheers, thanks a lot, thank you.
Yes, and Donington Park will be the penultimate round of the championship next time around, with the Thundersport 500 series still wide open.